What's good, everybody? So the last video was about pulling IPs on call, and there were some comments saying that I should make it into a batch file. I read one of them and I actually thought about it. I'm like, oh wait, Wireshark actually has a command line interface, and I could actually make a batch file that automates the thing that I showed in the video. And that's kind of crazy because basically in this video, I'm going to give you some sauce that you can use in multi-tools, in your own projects, literally whatever you want. Cause yeah, you're about to see one of the best batch files I ever made. Even though it's simple, it's really simple, but effective. You know, it's like, it's simple, but it works. This video is for educational purposes only, and I do not encourage or condone any illegal activity. The only intention of this video is to teach you about batch scripting and command line interfaces. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it. So last video, first I showed you all the educational nitty gritty and then I demonstrated it, but I think it's more effective for me to demonstrate it first and then explain what's behind each part of the process. And also YouTube might give me some better engagement. All right, so let's get right into the demonstration. So I'm gonna be demonstrating it on my close friend right here. I already asked him for permission a bunch of times. He's agreed to help me penetration test and show this demo, but let's ask him one more time if we have permission to do it. Dang, white hat permission acquired. Now let's get right into the testing. All right, so we got this beautiful batch file right here, which I'm gonna break down after the demonstration and then explain how to defend yourself against it. So ebola puller.bat, let's go. We run it. First, we choose our interface. I always just choose Wi-Fi, which is number 6. So interface number 6. And now it's capturing and listening for stun packets. So honestly, we're just gonna test a bunch of different platforms because why not? So first, Telegram. Boom. Okay, that is his public IP looping right now. And the craziest part is he actually has a VPN turned on right now. So in the last video, I said that a VPN would protect you from this, but looks like the only way you can defend yourself is by blocking stun and also by a different method that I will explain later in this video for defense and mitigation of this attack. Okay, now I'm going to test WhatsApp. Looks like WhatsApp actually doesn't really pick anything up. All right, I also wanted to test it out on Snapchat. Okay. Looks like Snapchat is safe. It's kind of weird with WhatsApp though, because like it works when I do it through the Wireshark GUI, and sometimes it works, but they come in with different packets. We have the stun protocol, but we also have something called ICE. I haven't looked into it much, but that's where also a lot of public IPs are sent through. But just for funsies, let's try Discord. And yeah, nothing on Discord either. Okay, and lastly, I wanted to test it on Signal. Yo, okay, timeout. I don't know if it worked. The Signal thing, it only worked one time, bro. It didn't work the other ones.
What the fuck?
Yeah, bro, I got different IPs, bro. Did you switch to data or something?
Right, just now when I accepted your call on WhatsApp, that's the only time I switched to data.
Bro, what?
Oh yeah, it was asking me about like, oh, do you want like everyone to see your location or some bullshit? I pressed dismiss.
Bro, that's probably what was leaking your IP. Fuck, bro. And I didn't get the time that it worked on camera. All right, it's chill though.
Do you need a second?
All right, so now it's time to go over the code. This batch file is pretty simple. And honestly, like, this thing is sick as hell. In other words, it's very efficient scripting that effectively automates the task that we are trying to do. So at echo off, you just do this for every batch file so it doesn't spam stuff. We make it green because we're little hackers. Set the title, set local. So first thing we do here is get our public IP, because later down in the filter, we're going to be excluding our public IP. And this is the public IP of whoever's running the script, right? And if you don't get the public IP, then it'll say failed to retrieve public IP. And now it checks if we have Wireshark installed. So tshark.exe, that's the CLI version. So we check if it exists, then we set tshark to this. So instead of, using this path each time we need to use it, we can just say tshark because it's saved in the variable. And we also check if it's in the other program files folder. And if not, define tshark. So if tshark is still empty, that means tshark.exe was not found in any of the program files folders. And it's just gonna open up the website where you can install it right here. Okay, boom. So when it's found, tshark found, and tshark-d, what this does is that it lists all the interfaces that are on your system. And all your interfaces are just like all the different ways to access the internet that you have on your system. Roughly speaking, that's the simplest way I can explain it. So for example, I have this little antenna right here, and you could also have Ethernet, you could also have your VPN, you also have local connections, so all sorts of stuff. And then we prompt which interface you want to listen on, and we save it in the interface variable because we're going to be using this later, or like right here already. So then we clear the screen, IP dump a little table right here, and this is basically the command that does it all. So we call the tshark.exe variable -is for the interface. We specify our interface. We define the protocol as UDP because stun only works over UDP, and then -y. So these are all the filters that we're using inside these brackets right here, and I'll explain this. So this first filter is to only show us success binding responses, and we see this and then this next one only going to show us the XOR mapped addresses, because in the binding response packets there's also like a bunch of different ones that we don't need, that include RIP, that include the server, like some other bullshit, so we don't need any of that. The public IPs are only stored in these ones. And for the last filter, what we do is that we say that the stun attribute IPv4, so the IP does not equal to our public IP. So what this does is just it filters out all the results that are equal to our IP, because we don't need to see our own IP. We're only looking for, other IP addresses. And we only display the stun attribute IP addresses. So it just only displays the IP address, nothing else. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the batch file. So it's pretty much like a command line Wireshark almost. So first we see all of our interfaces, we choose Wi-Fi, and now we're here sniffing for packets. And I can literally just copy all these filters over. So stun type this, and we don't have our public IP as a variable in Wireshark, so I'm just going to exclude that. But I put this in, boom, now it's listening, and now I'm going to call myself, and boom, here we go. So to defend yourself against this attack, I already went over this in more detail in the other video where I actually show you step by step how to do it. First method is to just use a VPN, which will hide your IP address. But VPNs, they might not always save you, because today, all the tests that I ran, the person that I was testing on, who I got permission to test on, he had a VPN on the entire time, and I was still getting his public IP address. So the VPN didn't protect his IP. So if the VPN doesn't work, that means the only real solution that you have is number one, blocking stun through your firewall. So blocking UDP port 3478 in Windows Advanced Firewall. And I go over how to do that in the last video. And the second thing that you can do is just avoid vulnerable platforms. So, I tested on, a good variety today, I'd say. Discord is safe. Snapchat is safe. Telegram isn't safe. Signal, it's safe if you don't allow location services, and WhatsApp is not safe. So WhatsApp, it didn't give me any results like in the batch file, because I think it works through a different process with ICE, but I still think it's not safe because I did do a lot of tests with Wireshark, and WhatsApp does leak the IP. So Telegram, not safe. WhatsApp, not safe. Signal, not safe. Discord, safe. Snapchat, safe. And there's probably way more platforms, so you can test this out yourself. I just kind of tried to do some testing live because a lot of comments that I got were asking about the different platforms, and I just thought that it would be useful. But anyway, that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. And just again, this video is purely for educational and demonstrational purposes only. My only intention is to teach you about the concept and teach you about scripting and the white hat side of things, because I make videos for people interested in penetration testing, which is legal white hat testing with permission. That's just the career, man. So anyway, I'll see you in the next vid. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.